Hello everyone, welcome to Brahmaj. When it comes to aviation, every takeoff is optional, but every landing is mandatory. Today, our topic of interest is fighter aircrafts, designed primarily to maintain control of critical airspace by destroying enemy planes in combat. But there are many unsuccessful fighter jets that never left the drawing board or advanced beyond the prototype stage. So let's take a look at some of the coolest and most interesting fighter jet failures of all time. Before that, if you're new to the channel, then please subscribe and turn on the notifications. Okay, let's do this. FMA SAIA-90, Argentina. The SAIA-90, designed in collaboration with the Dornier, was expected to be Argentina's fourth-generation fighter jet, a proud successor to the country's aviation sector, which had to be one of the best in the world after World War II. The project was begun by FMA in the 1890s and it was incredibly ambitious for the time. But for Argentina, it was also a period of severe economic downturn in the country. Because of the Falkland War began in 1983, there was a lot of international isolation at that time. All of these factors played a role, but the fundamental reason of the SAIA-90's failure was the jet's sheer ambition. It had to be extremely advanced to achieve the specifications, which were much too ambitious for the manufacturer. In the end, not even a single prototype was developed, and the project was later abandoned after a couple of decades, and a lot of money was wasted. IAI Lavi, Israel. It is debatable if the Lavi, Israel's own fourth-generation fighter jet program, failed due to political factors or internal problems. The point is, the development was incredibly expensive. The aircraft was extremely advanced for the time, perhaps even more than the SAIA-90, and has been draining Israeli taxpayers' funds since the mid-1970s. Its supporters have been accused of harboring an unsustainable prestige project as purchasing a fleet of F-16s. There is also a question of whether Lavi truly failed, as when the Chinese Chengdu J-10 appeared some years later, many people noticed a remarkable similarity to the abandoned Israeli project. However, the controversies and the potential second life only add to the fascination of this Israeli jet that was never produced. Northrop XP-79, USA. I have included this one in the video only because of the project's audacity. The XP-79, one of the earliest American jet fighters and one of John Northrop's famed flying wings, emerged in the early 1940s when people was unclear what to do with the new fast jet fighters. Given their speed, people at that time thought wouldn't it be more efficient to simply crash them into the enemy bombers? So, the XP-79 was originally intended to be a rocket-powered aircraft, was going to be armed not with guns but with 19 mm thick magnesium alloy armor on the leading edge of its wings, which in theory could cut through any foe like butter. I wonder how the dogfight would be. Anyway, it proved to be quite difficult to manage. The first prototype was destroyed in a crash in 1944, killing the test pilot, and the project was later abandoned in favor for more conventional designs. Heinkel He-162, Germany. Late Nazi Germany was littered with failed fighter plane ideas, but none of them failed as spectacularly as the He-162. By the numbers alone, it would be tough to label it a failure. Over 300 aircrafts were produced, but only above 120 have been successfully supplied to the military. The He-162 deserves some respect for its attempt to develop a cost-efficient and easily producible fighter plane at a period when fighter jets were still a thing of the future. However, such ambition came at the expense of the plane being badly underpowered, difficult to fly, unreliable, and generally bad by practically every criteria. Lockheed L-133, USA. I would say the He-162 outperformed the first American fighter plane, the Lockheed L-133. But the L-133 had a lot of ambition. It was proposed in 1939 with the intention of demonstrating operational capabilities comparable to Korean War-era jets. With its canards, merged wing body, slotted flaps, and twin engine, it was absolutely futuristic. It was rejected in favor of the P-80 Shooting Star because there was no way the US military would invest such a large sum of money in something so advanced and unproven. So the US government decided not to fund such an unproven project. And of course, many potentially successful fighter jets did not enter production because of economic, political, or other non-aviation related reasons. For example, many late Soviet projects did not see mass production due to budgetary reasons after the collapse of the Soviet Union. The supersonic VTOL, Yak-41, and the Mikoyan 5th generation attempts, if not for the collapse, they probably would have been built and go on to become successful. So don't be embarrassed by your failures, learn from them and start again. That's all I have for today. If you like my videos, then please like, subscribe and share. And it's time for me to take off. Bye everyone.